Hey there, friend. Welcome to Release Your Inner Power and Ways to Boost Your Week with Ignited Decisions. I'm your host, Shauna B, your life reinvention and empowerment coach, here to help you ditch that burnout, drop that guilt, and take back your life. If you are a busy woman juggling work, kids, and life, all the to-dos, or just stuck in some major transition like a breakup, a career change or shift, or just feeling meh, this is your space to reset and recharge you. Each week, we tackle real fears, real struggles, and real solutions. Plus, we have inspiring guests who have been there and done that, and they are sharing their stories and tools too. It's time to put yourself back on the priority list and step into your week that feels energizing and empowering. Let's do this. Welcome back to Release Your Inner Power and Boost Your Week with Ignited Decisions. I'm excited about this guest today. Her name is Gina. I'm so happy that you're here and that you're going to share your story with us today.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
I love it. I love it. Tell the listeners a little bit about who Gina is.
Yeah, so I'm Gina Ramsey, and I have been for many years a licensed clinical social worker, but I always had a goal of writing a humor book with my Murphy's Law stories. And so I finally achieved that in 2023. And ever since, I've absolutely loved the journey. I released my second book in January of this year. And so both are called Burnt Glove Boxes, Embracing Life When It Goes Up in Flames, Volume 1 and 2. And I just continue to write. I'm totally involved with the writing community. I've literally found my passion in what I'm doing.
I love that. I love that. I love that you are involved in I know we've talked a little bit, so I know how
Yeah.
involved you are, and we'll get to that. But what I want to tap into a little bit first is how you got to this place of writing your own books and becoming, finding your passion and then like kind of like blowing your world up of like, yeah, look at all these awesome opportunities that have come out of it. What was part of your journey to get you to becoming this author?
Yeah, that's a great question, Shauna. So we moved to Wisconsin. So I live in Wisconsin, the cold belt of America, in 92. And really, we lived in Illinois prior. So we had some Murphy's Law scenarios. For those who are listening who aren't familiar with Murphy's Law, most people are, but it's this theory that if it's going to happen, it's bound to happen. So like what will happen is going to happen. So, but when we moved to Wisconsin, that's when we started having like all these crazy scenarios, unbelievable stories happen. And I would tell these stories to our family, to our friends, and they would say to me, "You should write a book. Your stories are hilarious." And and it kind of planted the seed. And one year, I had a glove box that burnt on us, and I said, "That's the title for the book." And so I went home and I typed up the summary of my story titles. And you'll find in the books that the story titles are all pretty much the same as what I had created back then. And I carried I put these in a folder and I wrote Burnt Glove Boxes on the folder. And I carried it around with me for over 20 years, always knowing that I was going to write a book. I didn't tell people I might write a book one day. It was always, I'm going to do this. And so fast forward to 21, while we were in the midst of the pandemic, I had joined a women's networking group, and many of the women in there were published authors. And I thought, wow, because that was always my question. Okay, you write the book, then what do you do? How do you publish it? What is that process? It was really a mystery to me and kind of a scary thing, right? Not knowing how anybody does any of this. So that gave me encouragement, being around other authors, that I could tap into their knowledge and their experiences. And luckily, my publisher is in that networking group as well. So I kind of just walked into this and was lucky enough to have my publisher pick up my project. Not everybody has that same experience. Some people submit and submit and they get a lot of rejection letters. But for anybody who's doing that, I encourage them just keep going, keep trying. Because if you've got a dream, it's not just about the book, it's about your message, right? It's about your life, what led you to this place. And so that's really what kept me going in this journey is that dream, that bucket list item that I'm going to write this book one day. So, and I finally did it.
I think that's so cool. It's so interesting. So for 20 years you just kept adding to the folder.
Yeah, I kept the same. I kept the same. It was 2 sheets of paper with story ideas written on them. And then if somebody told me a story of their own, I would jot that down. I would jot any other things down that would happen to us through those years. And when I carried it, like I took it on vacation with us, I took it when we went out of town, you know, with the premise that I'm going to start writing the book.
Yeah.
But even in a way to like if I had another story that would pop up to jot it down. And it's so funny because I've learned through this process that writers should bring paper or their phone with them and note these things as they're happening as a reminder for story ideas. And so I was doing this process that I had no idea what that I
Yeah.
was doing the right thing. I just did it.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you were taking it with you and making notes and writing things down and kind of adding to it and creating it as you're carrying it around and not really realizing what you're going to do with it yet. But
Yeah.
what I really think is cool is you being a part of a networking group, and it so happens that it's like there's these authors in there and then a publishing company and all of this stuff. It's almost like you walked into it's like another Murphy's Law situation. Like you walked
Right.
into a situation where it's like, and you're writing it now. Here are all the people that are going to help you pick their brain, and you submitted and got accepted and wrote your book. And I love that. Can you tell me more about the glove box situation before? I mean, I know that's what
Yeah.
inspired you to
Yeah.
um have the title of the book, but can you tell me more? Because that's so it's like, wait, when you first said that to me, I'm like, glove box on fire. What? I want to know more about that.
Sure. So, our son was in basketball and he went to a state tournament and it was in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. So that was about where we were living at the time. It was probably about an hour and 15 minutes from us. And so I dropped him off in the bus so he could take the bus with his team. And we were fashionably late as always. That's our family style. And so I grabbed my makeup, leaving the house, grabbed my makeup, grabbed the kids, we loaded up the car, got ready on the way, and we went into his games. We came back out, and my husband took the kids to the car, and I was going to let the basketball coach know that we were bringing Mike home with us, just so we knew that he wasn't going to be on the bus. And I get over to the car and the kids are standing outside and I said, come on, let's get in the car, guys. And I opened the passenger side door and my husband, it's one of those seats, like kind of one of the bench seats.
Hmm.
It was a Grand Prix, Pontiac Grand Prix, and he's laying across the seats and the smoke just wafts out at me. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he had the whole inside of the glove box pulled out with all the contents in it. You could see like the engine and stuff like that. And he's like, it was the smoke. It was, and he used the funniest word. He said, the smoke is billowing. It was billowing. Billowing. He's like, I can't find where it's coming from. And so he was going to put the glove box contents and the insert back in. And I said, no, because I'm sitting there. If it like goes on fire again, I don't want to be right there.
Okay.
And so he put that in the trunk, closed the glove box door, and taped it because we had incidents. We got the car from my mom, and we had a lot of incidents with this glove box with the radio turning on and off, like at random. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah. And so refasten the duct tape
Yeah.
because we had a lock that fell off of it, and it starts burning again. And I said, there it is. You could see the smoke coming from the front of the glove box. Well, here we were parked just right in that parking lot, just so that the sun was coming in through the window. It was the noon sun. And I brought a mirror with me to put my makeup on, and it was a concave mirror, and the sun was hitting the mirror just right and bouncing off and burning a hole into the door of our glove box. And like, had we been any later to our car, the whole lot probably would have been, because he said that's like all plastics and petroleum, like it would have gone up in flames, like the whole thing, and probably ignited all the other cars that were there. So we were really lucky that we got there. So it's that whole thing. That's my whole message, is like finding the funny in life's mishaps, maybe not right away, but also finding that positive. And the positive is we didn't come out with like a lot of legal fees.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. But that, like, what are the chances, right? What are the
Right.
chances that your mirror and the sun is positioned in the correct spot to start
Yes.
that on fire? That is so crazy.
And it's so funny because I have a picture of it, and it looks like an army guy with a rifle on his knee. It literally,
Oh,
like,
really?
that's so funny.
Oh, that's funny. I love that you were able to, like, because I'm sure in the moment you're like, what is happening? Why is this? This is
Right.
so weird. Like, I thought we were done here. And then figuring it out. I just love that it's funny, but also it inspired you at the same time.
It did. That was the inspiration. And I went home that day. I went home and I sat down at my computer and I typed up my story ideas.
That's
I
awesome.
just knew that that's it. That's the title. That encompasses all these stories that happen to us all the time.
That is so funny. I love that.
And the irony of it all.
I know, right? I know. It's so crazy. So crazy. So when you went through this networking group and you got a publisher and then you started to write it, did you find yourself um kind of like gung ho to write it, or were you kind of hesitant about it? How did that path go for you?
Yeah, so I hadn't yet talked to the publisher. The leader of this networking group told she knew that in my heart I wanted to write a book. I don't remember telling her or any of them this, but that's how my years have gone. Like, I've told people and they've held me to it. But she let me know about NaNoWriMo, which is November Novel Writing Month. And so the goal in that month is to write a novel in the month of November. And so there's an online app for it, where you get like little awards when you put your word count in there and all of that. So she brought it up to me about NaNoWriMo. And I said, well, what is that? And she explained it. And I thought, well, might as well start writing. I was almost like Forrest Gump. Might as well go home now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might as well write the book now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I did. I went gung ho. I would write from like 9 o'clock at night until 2 or 3 in the morning. I would go to bed for a few hours, get up the next morning, go to work my full day, do my family stuff that I needed to do. 9, 10 o'clock at night, start writing again. And I just cranked that book out. And I did it. But I didn't finish it in November. I did finish it by the spring of the following year. And that's when I reached out to Debbie and asked if she would be willing to take a look at what I have. Because I don't know, like, I didn't major in writing in school. So I don't know how good it is or if it's good at all, or if she's going to tell me never pick up a pen again.
Right. Right.
Don't ever do this. Don't quit your day job, right? And I haven't done that either. Um, but so she was in agreement. So I submitted like a little portion of it and we met afterwards. I was so
I
nervous.
bet.
Shauna, I was so nervous because I'm like, I don't know what her reaction is going to be.
Sure.
And so when I got on the call with her, she was laughing. And she's like, I had to read this. I sent her two stories. She's like, I had to read the stories again over breakfast. She's like, they're so funny. And she said it reminded her a lot of Irma Bombeck's writing, right? Looking at, observation, like daily things that happen, and then writing into that, those funny things.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that's a great compliment. And she told me she wanted to keep, take on the project. And so I signed on my contract with her on April 29th. So, and I've considered that my lucky number ever since,
I love that. I love that.
429.
And
Mm-hmm.
how cool is that too for somebody to come to you and be like, hey, you know what? In November, kind of give you the challenge and you're like, okay. And doing that challenge, how much you knocked out, now you're like, well, I'm already this far and I'm finishing this, right?
Yes,
But,
absolutely.
but then I can't imagine, I can and can't imagine because I've never written a whole book. But I can't imagine like when you submit something, it's like that weird, nervous, excited, you're not sure if you're going to throw up or not kind of thing where you're just
Yes.
like, oh man, I wonder, and just kind of like sitting on the edge of your seat. But then to have such an awesome conversation about how funny it is and how she really liked it and to be signed, like that must have been so, like, such an awesome feeling to be like, I'm actually doing this.
Yeah.
What I wanted to do.
And I'll tell you, it was, I think, not just the writing itself, but she heard what my mission was. My mission the whole time of like this idea is I want to bring joy and laughter to our world, even if it's one person at a time. If I can do that, I've done good things for our world. And so she really not only was on board with my books, but she's fully on board with the mission that I have and my mission to continue because I want to do anthologies. We're starting the first anthology this year. And where other people can now submit their Murphy's Law stories
That's
into
fun.
us. And so I want to keep it rolling because it's just amazing going to, through the years, telling my stories to people and have them say, oh my gosh, do I have a dog story for you that happened to us? The sharing of laughter, the sharing of this commonality, these commonalities we have with other people. We're more alike than we are different. I think we all have those like crazy pet stories or that crazy car tire that went flat. We all
Yeah,
have like these things that are very similar. Um, so it's a way of connection, and I was just so thrilled that she was on board with that. I think if she wasn't, I would have maybe had to move on because I want someone to buy into what the purpose of this is.
absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
really like that mission. It's a thing. Like we're out here lifing and there's a lot of hard stuff and I'm a
Yes.
big believer in finding, like the shard or the little light in it and sometimes making humor of the situation. And like obviously sometimes not in the moment is the time
Right.
where you're going to find that, but looking back and then being able to share and laugh about it and, like you're saying, brighten somebody else's day or help them out is so important and
Yeah.
needed and very needed. So
Yeah.
that's
For
I
sure.
love that. I love that mission. That's great. When we talked before, I remember you talking about saying you're a bucket list guru. Can we talk a little bit more about what a bucket list guru is?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, going back in the writing journey, I worked for a women's agency, and there was an organization in Wisconsin, Women Wisconsin Women's Foundation, and they had people that would go around and do journaling projects with people. So they came into our agency and they worked on some journaling projects. And one of the questions was, and it was just you had to write fast. It's just it's seeing all these nuances looking back now how it led to like all these things kind of led to where I'm at now. But boy, did I write things.
Yeah.
Wrote so many things. And they said, if you have a goal of doing something, if you write it down and if you tell somebody that you're going to do this thing, you're more than likely going to do it. Now, fast forward to now, I've done some, a little bit of research and stuff on elderly people who have regrets. And they're one of the number one regrets is not doing all the things that they really wanted to do in life. And now kind of late, right? For some people.
Yeah.
And I never want to get to that point in my life where I have those regrets. And so with that journal, I still have that journal, that little journal that they gave us, and I still have that list. And the list has evolved through the years, right? Your priorities change, things change. So, but there was quite a few travel items on there. Writing my book was on there. But they said as you do them, cross them off or do like a little star next to them. And it's just amazing how many things I've accomplished. And with the guru part of it, I really encourage other people to do the same thing. Like, we're not guaranteed tomorrow, and hopefully we have tomorrow, right? But we're not guaranteed tomorrow or next year or 5 years from now. And so, if there's things you really want to do that you envision doing, change that you want to bring to our world, places you want to travel to, set those goals and then, set some, write those down and then set some goals to leading you to achieving those things.
Yeah, it's so amazing how with writing it down and telling somebody, it almost pushes you to make the choices to support it. So what I mean by that is like if you have a goal to finish a book, you're going to, now you're going to a networking thing and then oh, this lady brought up this challenge and like, okay, well, I could do this, like all these little steps to actually get you to that. It's like your opportunities come to you almost. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like it's almost like you've decided this is what I really want to do, but then taking these steps to that will lead you there so much faster than if you were just like, we're going to put that on the later plan and maybe I'll get to it. And then you're right. Then you become 85 and you're like, I never wrote the book and I never went on the trip and I never did that and I wish I would have. It's like, when is that time going to be for you?
Right.
Is it now?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is it now?
Mhm.
Let's make it now because
Yeah,
that's how you can accomplish all these things. And then all of these other cool doors open up for you. Like,
absolutely.
like for you, example, you had one book, right? And then now you just released a second one and you're going to do an anthology series. But what I also want to talk about is all of the writing opportunities and now communities that you are involved in because you started writing this book. Can you tell us more about those?
Yeah. So again, this really opened my love for writing that I never realized that I had while I was writing. So both books that was the whole transcript, the first transcript I sent to my publisher. So we split it in two because it would have been like, like an encyclopedia to read, and people don't like that.
Right, right.
So, but while I was writing it, I happened upon a thing on Facebook. A woman, her name is Leslie Leyland Fields. She has written 14 books. She provides coaching for people who are writing memoir. And really, the stories that I have here are memoir. They're short essays. They're true stories. It's just a different form of memoir, if you will. And um, and so she offered this free class where it was like, I think it was 4 weeks, where she teaches the structure of writing. And I thought, and kind of the do's and don'ts, right? So there's a phrase in humor writing that goes, don't punch up, no, don't punch down, punch up. I don't like to punch at all, but sometimes you gotta like some people that you encounter, it's a weird interaction and you gotta address it.
Yeah.
But how do you do that and not come across as being mean-spirited or um degrading somebody else, because that's never not aligned with my goal at all. I want to bring joy and I want to bring happiness and kindness to the world. So I took Leslie's 4 weeks of classes, and I thought, and then afterwards, of course, they offer, their membership or whatever. And I thought, I'm getting into this membership. I had to do it. I knew that that was going to help me further down the road in the current project I was in, but further down the road. And so I started getting involved in taking classes. And then I attended the Irma Bombeck Writers Conference. But at the time it was online because of the pandemic. And so I met a bunch of writers on that online, and everybody's like, oh, we'd love to have our own humor writers group. And so three of us spearheaded that. So we do that. It's a private thing for, folks who have attended that conference. But I'm involved in the Lake Superior Writers Organization here in Superior. It really writing, and for your listeners, if they are interested in becoming a writer, it really is. It's not about just writing this book and putting it into the world and then you just leave it. This is really a communication business. It is a networking business. Um, and so making those connections is super important. And really, it's helped me to guide other writers, people who want to author a book, or they've already authored a book and they're kind of in this stuck, like, I don't know how to sell, like, how to market this better. And so I'm able to give them referrals to people I know for that guidance. And so, and I want to do that. And I've found that the writers community is so supportive of one another, so supportive and uplifting each other that you can do this and it's going to be beautiful.
I love that. I really like your story in a way of you kind of had an idea floating of, yeah, I want to write a book, right? You had an idea floating. You even had a folder where you're writing all this stuff down and you're keeping track of all the things you want to write about and just how things have come up in your life to like lead you to writing this book, but then how you did it and then how many opportunities once you decided and started, how many opportunities opened for you. I
Mm.
love that about your story. And then the part of you that knew you wanted to write it, but you didn't realize how much you loved doing it until you were in it. And then you're like, this is amazing. I love this. That
Yeah.
is the part of your story that I truly love because I think a lot of people will do things in their life where they'll decide they want to do something and they'll even start doing it, but then they expect like the fireworks to go off inside and be like, this is the thing that you really want to do, and you're just scratching the surface and
Yeah.
you don't give it enough marination time, if you will, to
Mhm.
really feel if that's truly what you love. And so I just love that you're kind of like you're going with it because it wasn't feeling off. And then just how much of your world it opened up for you and how you're helping others and how you're writing more and how you're involved in the community and groups. It's just so great.
Thank you. And I think it has a lot to do with there's something called the law of attraction. There's a documentary called The Secret, and it's all about the law of attraction. And everything is based on energy. Everything's energy. And I give the example, if you go to work and everyone's like crabbing around in the break room about, whatever, everything's doom and gloom all the time, how do you walk out of that break room? You start feeling like that down, right? You feel that energy. And I think that like people refer to this as manifesting, right? You write it down, you tell people, you get excited. Um, you you're drawing more of that positive, you're drawing those resources and that positivity to you, those positive things by just putting that energy out there. And I think too, when people think of manifesting, well, I want to do this or I want this, and then sometimes they'll just sit.
Right.
Well, you can't do that either. You have to be open to your opportunities. And I don't say no to a whole lot of things when it comes to meeting people or doing book signing events at a new little store, because I feel like that really, even that has opened up opportunities. I met a really fantastic author. She's changing the world. She's from our area. And she was used to be a school teacher, and now she's got her own publishing company here in the Duluth area. And had I not gone to that event and sold two books,
Yeah.
all day in the heat, $2. But I keep this attitude of, okay, but I met a lot of people, right? And it might be no right now, but they saw the book and maybe they'll get it later on. Not everybody's going to be your ideal reader either, but I met this beautiful soul and we have connected. And now she's part of that women's networking group and she's just doing amazing things for the writing community. So had I not gone to that, I would have never met her. So I think it's really putting that, again, that positive spin on things, and just opening yourself to opportunity because it's there for you. I truly believe that for everybody.
Yeah.
That,
So that.
dream it and do it. Like, be
Yes.
open that it can happen. That's
Yeah.
yours.
I love that because you're so right. If me with my business and going to certain things and meeting people, some of like I have a couple of mastermind groups now that we've created by meeting people in different areas and me either bringing them together or others bringing together and how much we help each other and then going, I just because of one of those groups, I went to an event in January in a
Yeah.
different state because of that. And then you meet more people and you get more stuff. It's so cool when you say yes to more things of just the possibility, even if it's a little bit scary. It's kind of like, well, I want to, it's like a different energy. It's a nervous, excited energy. It's not like a whoa energy. You know what I mean? It's different.
Yes.
And to kind of ride that and go with it, there's so many cool things. And like you said, so many cool things that you do and that sometimes you end up getting done on your list that you want, that you want to accomplish, but then the people that you meet that then might lead another path that you are truly supposed to be on, but to go to the event, to meet that person, to then do the thing, it just
Yeah.
all falls into place. That's what
Yes.
I love and think is so cool about all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And I
really,
really, and I really think that, um, again, it's that manifesting, it's that, just that being open to those and it's, so you know what, the other thing I want your listeners to know, like, if something is a no, like, you have to learn how to say no to certain things too, so you can keep a balance, so you don't like lose your mind.
yeah.
And I was a yes girl. I said yes to everything in my life. So I'm learning the things that I need to say no to be able to stay grounded, to keep writing, to keep my family balanced, all of that. It's a work in progress. I think we all are. We learn that throughout life. I don't know, just learning by experience. But yeah, when it comes to these types of opportunities, I think it's good. I've heard so many people say, "Oh, I'm an introvert. I don't feel comfortable." Well, like, I am too, honestly. Like, if I have a choice of going out to a big public space, and this is different from when I was younger, but or sitting on the couch with a chicken leg watching, TV, I'm going to opt for the chicken leg.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this business doesn't allow for that. It does in a way, but in some ways you can take those breaks, but you really have to take the opportunities when they come to you, and you just never know what door that's going to open.
It's so true.
Hmm.
It's so true. Yeah, one of my friends today, I was listening to her podcast and she said like doing something like this, like opening a business or writing a book or doing something and following your steps and doing that is like your biggest personal growth journey that
Yeah.
you're not realizing that you're on until you're doing it. And you're like, oh, this is the new thing that I'm doing. And then this is the new opportunity and learning to say no to certain things and then yes to others. And she said,
Mhm.
it's you're experiencing life, but you're also doing this big personal growth journey without you realizing it when you lean into like the nervous, excited and doing these cool opportunities.
Absolutely. And so many people search for like that happiness, right? That thing that's going to make them happy. But I've read a couple of things where it says it's really down deep in here and in your soul, right? The thing isn't going to make you happy no matter what. Because once you get that thing, then, oh, well, now I need another thing. But I truly have found my purpose on this planet through this project. Um, and and that has fed my soul. And it just like I don't have this drive to I have to go to, Paris. Would I like to do certain things? Absolutely. But I think when I went to the Swiss Alps, that calmed my soul a little bit because that was my top bucket list item. But I really feel like completing this project has call my soul. I know I've completed it. It's there. I've left a legacy for my kids, for my family, and for our world to be able to, 50 years from now, someone, will probably pick up one of these books and read it and get a giggle, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my hope.
I know. I am super excited because I can't wait to read it. I'm taking it with me when I go on vacation and I can't wait to read it. So I'm excited to read it. Well, tell the listeners where they can find your books and
Yeah.
if they want to submit for your anthology series so they can
Yeah.
submit their fun stories too.
Yeah, so I would encourage folks. My website is www.ginaramseyauthor.com. And my publisher and I are getting all the open submissions. We're getting that ready so that we will have things posted on that. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. So follow my pages because more information will come out as to the date that we open the submissions. And yeah, it's going to be fun. The first anthology book is going to be animal stories. So it can be pets, zoo animals, farm animals, wildlife. If you've had encounters with wildlife, everything goes. So, but keep it clean, people. This is
Yeah.
that's one of our rules, and the other rule is it can't be written by AI because like our stories are too interesting. We don't need AI to write a funny story. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, I will have all of those links in the show notes too, so people can quick click it and find you. Um,
Great.
is there anything else that you would like to say to the listeners?
I just want to thank your listeners for listening in today, and I just really appreciate you all. One more thing is if you do pick up the book, you can get it at Amazon or you can get it at your local. I really support local bookstores, indie bookstores. So if you can shop local, just go in and they can order it for you. And then if you go to my website, you can sign up for my newsletter. But you can also order a bookmark and a signed book plate too. So a book plate is just a sticker that I sign it just as if I would if you came in person. And you can just stick it in your book. So, and then you can get a bookmark and a book plate. So,
That that's
yeah,
cool. I like
free gifts,
I like that. I've
freebies.
never heard of a book plate before, so I like that a lot. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Well, I like to ask every one of my guests that are on my show just because everybody's journey is so unique and I think we all have really cool gifts. And I always like to ask what your superpower is to share that so other people that may be struggling to find their own superpower, it might have a light bulb moment for them.
Yeah. I honestly, I think my superpower is being able to find the funny in life and just finding humor in all different sorts of scenarios. Um, I don't know, like, and I'm not always like that. There's days you can ask my family where they're like, "What's wrong with you?" or in a given scenario when it happens. But I really feel like that's my superpower. And I think that, not everything in life is funny. There are some very traumatic things, tragic things that happen that I definitely wouldn't say, oh, you need to find the funny in that. But what I would encourage folks to do is look at every day with some gratitude. Think of three things each day that you're grateful for. It can be the smallest things. It can be fresh water that you're drinking and that you have food or whatever. But so you're grateful for, fresh water because it keeps me healthy or whatever. So add that because why you're grateful for it. And I really feel like when you do that, you're just, again, generating more of that positivity. And I think it makes handling life's difficult situations a little less hard.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having a conversation with me today and talking about your journey and your story and your books. I really, really enjoyed talking with you today.
Yeah, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, learned something new, or got some gems to take away that will boost your week. I release a new episode each week, so make sure to click that follow button to not miss what is coming next. If you love the show or want to share a story, send me a quick message. I love hearing from listeners. If you know someone who needs this episode in their life, go ahead and share it with them. I'm sure they would love you for it. If you are looking to connect more, check out the show notes for all the social links, my website. I would love to hear how this episode helped you and what you loved about it. If there's a topic you want to hear about, send that too. All right, ladies, now is the time to release your inner power. If you're ready to break free from burnout and create a life that actually feels good, I've got you covered. You can work with me in a few ways. Join my monthly membership for ongoing support, dive into my workshops for quick breakthroughs, book coaching sessions for personalized guidance, or go all in with my Revive and Recharge Your Life coaching program to build a foundation for lasting change. No matter where you are on your journey, there is a path for you, my friend. Let's get started. DM me or check the link in the show notes to get more information.